Hello super friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And in today's video we're going to be discussing something that came up in the most recent episode of Arrow, being episode 612, which is that somebody has actually doctored the video which has made Cayden James perceive the fact that Oliver Queen, aka the Green Arrow, killed his son, which has caused him to have this vendetta. But who is the traitor to Cayden James? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, in the most recent episode of Arrow, otherwise entitled All for Nothing, which was season 6, episode 12, we found out that Cayden James was sent a video which showed the Green Arrow supposedly shooting down a couple of bad guys with his bow and arrow, and because of a ricochet effect, it caused Cayden James' son to be shot with an arrow as collateral damage. And this is what has caused Cayden James to have this vengeance against the Green Arrow for the whole season. Now, this supposedly happened around a year ago at this time, but we all know, and the characters have also addressed this in the show, that Oliver wasn't actually in Star City when this was happening. He was in Hub City, as this was the time he was recruiting Dinah Drake to become the new Black Canary. So he was not actually in Star City when this was happening. So what is actually going on here? Well, it is supposedly confirmed by Elena that this video had been doctored and has actually been faked to make the Green Arrow look like the villain. This leads back into a plot point that began at the very beginning of this season, which is that there was a photo released online of Oliver Queen unmasked as the Green Arrow, and it went live, which of course led to Oliver Queen coming under the eye of the FBI. Now, likelihood is that whoever doctored this video also doctored that photo of Oliver Queen on the Green Arrow suit. And that's what we're here to discuss. Who is doing that, and more specifically, who is the traitor to Cayden James? We are told also by Elena that whoever had done these videos and these photos also would be very close to Cayden James, so this makes us fans believe that it must be someone within the Cabal. We know that there has already been a traitor within the Cabal, being Vincent, aka the Vigilante, who of course in 612, if you have seen it, was of course killed for his traitorry. But there could be another one in there, and this is something we've all been waiting for one particular character to take over, Richard Dragon. So, Kirk Acevedo plays Richard Dragon, or Ricardo Diaz, or the Dragon, whatever you want to call him. It's the Arrowverse interpretation of the DC comic book character, Richard Dragon. He plays him in this season of Arrow, and he is the one villain of the Criminal Cabal who we've been most interested in, as he hasn't had that much screen time, but just seems so intriguing and so interesting, and we've all been waiting for him to take over, and it seems like now, with all this going on, Cayden James may be stepping down or may be killed, and this leads to Ricardo Diaz taking up his position. So it seems now, if these videos are fakes, which it has been confirmed that they are fake by Felicity and Elena, this is going to be most likely revealed to Cayden James next episode, being 613, and this could lead to Cayden James actually realising that Oliver didn't actually kill his son, and this vendetta against him is not justified. And this could lead to also having Cayden James be killed off by Richard Dragon, which is something I think we all want to see happen, because Cayden James has been a bit of a boring villain this season. No disrespect to Michael Emerson, I think he's a fantastic actor, and I think he's been doing a really good job with what he's been given this season, but the way he's been written and the way he approaches things is very boring. You don't feel like he's a big, massive threat like you did with someone like Deathstroke or Prometheus. You feel that this guy could literally be taken down in 1 week. He'd just be one of those weak villains, but it doesn't he's being played off as the big bad when we really know that there's someone else waiting in the wings. So why would Ricardo Diaz take over? Well, it seems like perhaps he would be the one who actually put these photos and videos together, because he has a bigger plan which further outweighs what Cayden James has planned. So maybe he wanted to actually get close to Cayden James so he could take him over, and that seems like it's what's going to be likely to happen. Is he's been getting close to Cayden, getting into his cabal, knowing how he works, so he can get closer to him, which leads him to getting closer to Oliver, and then I'm sure his motivations will be revealed soon enough. I think many of us have theorised for a long time that it is going to be Ricardo Diaz to kill Cayden James, and I feel we could be getting that next episode. I feel we will see Cayden bite the bullet, quite literally, when Ricardo Diaz pulls a gun on him and is actually going to end up killing him and taking over the Cabal, which means he'll have control over Laurel, he'll have control over Anatoly, he'll have control over all the other members of the Cabal, who I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but he'll have control over all of them, and he'll have control essentially over Star City. Also, in the Season 6 sizzle trailer they released, the extended trailer they released like a couple of weeks ago, there is a scene where we see Ricardo Diaz say that this city is primed for a takeover, and I feel that that is literally him saying, I'm ready to take it over. And I feel that that is very important to show how powerful this character can be, because he's been very understated and very underused so far this season, and I feel that isn't a mistake. I feel that is a deliberate choice by the writers, because they want him to have a full impact when he gets to unleash completely. I do wonder how they'll handle Richard Dragon this season, because the Richard Dragon from the comics is a very mystical character with a lot of martial arts expertise, whereas this version of Richard Dragon, who isn't even called Richard Dragon, he's called Ricardo Diaz, and his street name is the Dragon, he's just a gangster who, you know, he's been selling drugs, he deals weapons, he's a very typical kind of gangster, so it depends on what he's actually going to do. Maybe he does have some secret powers that we don't know about. I think that'd be really cool, as I feel Kirk Acevedo could pull that off very, very well. Plus, the way that he was selling drugs, which links back into Diggle's story. Now, to be fair, that storyline with Diggle has kind of been resolved now. I still think it was a cool way to link Diggle to Richard Dragon, and maybe Richard Dragon will start to come after Diggle at some point, which I think will be cool. Maybe Diggle might die this season, because obviously they are kind of running out of storylines with Diggle now. After Season 4, they haven't really known what to do with him, and maybe this could lead to him being killed off. The only reason he hasn't so far is because he's such an essential part of the show, but maybe his time's coming to an end. I really hope that's not the case though, because obviously we all love David Ramsey as Diggle. He's easily one of the best actors across the Arrowverse, and he's also just such an entertaining actor, and he's such a lad in real life. I mean, if you look at David Ramsey in real life, he's such a legend, and we all love him, so I don't want to lose Diggle, but if he does die this season, I feel that'd be an amazing ending if they killed Diggle this season and have Richard Dragon kill him. And this could lead Oliver to, you know, completely lash out, because imagine if Oliver lost Diggle, that would almost break him to the core. Either way though, I think Richard Dragon has been one of the most interesting things of Arrow Season 6, even though he hasn't been used too much so far, I should say. I feel that he has got a lot more potential, and I feel that potential will be explored come episode 13 and onwards, and this is when we'll see him fully unleash himself as Richard Dragon, maybe with some powers, maybe with some unheard of martial arts. And to see him fight Oliver and take over Star City is going to be something we've been waiting for a long time after suffering with Cayden James. So what do you guys think about Richard Dragon, or the Dragon, or Ricardo Diaz, whatever you want to call him, potentially being the main big bad of Arrow Season 6 and actually killing Cayden James and taking over the Cabal? Personally, I feel this is something we all want to see, but it'd be interesting to know your guys' thoughts on this. Tell me in the comment section below what you think about all this. I think it's a very interesting point, and something that I feel has a very strong likelihood of happening, especially when the writers themselves have hinted that the fact that Richard Dragon was the big bad this season, and it hasn't been true so far. So, thank you guys for watching this episode of DCTV Talk. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, it'll help me out a lot, and share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DCTV and get them to join the community. And as always guys, please subscribe for all of your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And with all of that said, I hope to see you guys again in my next video.